Hi, everyone. I'm Leah Atlanta, and thank you for joining us on episode six. Six? Yes, six of Leather Together Television. I'm trying a new format because of the whole thing that's going on in the world, unfortunately. But in the meantime, this is a workaround. And so tonight I have Michael Jeavons. Is that how you say?
Woo!
Is that how you say it, Jeavons?
That was pretty close. It's actually Michael Jeavons.
Jeavons,
I
Jeavons.
think
Well,
that I think that Jeavons is actually the way that it's
Jeavons.
pronounced based on the way it is, but we pronounce it Jeavons.
Right. Okay, Jeavons. And so he is the current reigning Mr. Eagle New York City, right? 2020.
That is correct. Yep.
Is that, but there's no leather in there, right? In
No,
the
well,
title?
there's lots of leather, but
Oh,
it's
I
not
know.
the name. No, not in the name.
Okay, so, Michael, thanks first of all for being here. I really appreciate it. Thanks for being my first guest with this format. So I'm excited.
Thank you. I
Um,
appreciate the
Now
opportunity.
you're in New York or right now, right? You live in New York, New Jersey?
Correct. Yep.
Which?
I live in Jersey City,
Okay.
which is about 3 seconds from the west side of
It's
Manhattan.
all the same. It
Yep.
really is because I
Yep.
lived there for a long time.
Yep. Pretty
And
much.
then how long have you been in leather?
Oh, like 30 years.
How
Yeah.
old are you?
Yeah, yeah,
How
yeah.
old are you?
I don't
Oh, never mind. I should never ask that.
know. I'm in
I,
my 50s. 50s.
wow, you look amazing.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Anyway, so what made you run for Mr. Eagle Leather or Mr. Eagle New York City?
I ran basically out of my desire to continue to live a life of service. Living a life of service is very important to me. And I felt like this would be an additional way for me to gain a platform that would allow me to sort of even, expand upon this idea. And
Mm-hmm.
so I've always been very involved in volunteer work and getting involved in the community and beyond that. And this is just was one more way for me to be able to expand that reach to not only do my own thing, but also to lend that title to other people in the community that I could help sort of expand their reach. And
Mm-hmm.
that's one of the things that's very, very important to me is to not only help everyone else in the community live a life of service and kind of lend the title to that, because this title really belongs to the community, not to me.
Mm-hmm.
And
You,
but also to expand my reach in terms of being able to do much more for the community.
I mean, you're doing an amazing job. That's what really caught my eye and why I wanted to kind of do the interview because I mean, I met you at Mall and online and stuff, but I've been watching, I watch a lot of people and you're out there, you're involved, and I dig that totally.
Thank you.
Um, so in your opinion, as a community, um, what do you think is important that we do to appeal to a newer generation of folks coming in?
I think that's a great question because that's what's troubling, I think, a lot of people right now or concerning a lot of people. And I think really it's just one thing. We have to be welcoming.
Hmm.
We have to, always have the mindset of saying, come as you are. There's no
Yes,
wrong answer. You're welcome. There is always a place at the table for you here. You know,
I
whether
agree.
whether it is for just today, every single week, or every day of the entire year, there's always a place for you at the table. And you are
That's
welcome.
right.
Come as you are, show us who you are. We can't wait to see it. I think that's the biggest thing is so many people feel that you have to look a certain way in
Right.
order to kind of, join into the community. And that's not
That's
true.
true.
That's
I
not
understand.
true.
No,
It,
I'm saying that's true what you're saying that people think that because I thought that
yep.
when I came in. I mean, I wear turbans. I've been wearing turbans for a long
I love
time.
it.
And a lot of people, there were some people that said, beware, be ready. People might say something. And I'm like, listen, there's some meaning behind this, and I'm not changing. I'm going to be who I am.
It's the point of
So,
views. It's the intermixing of the point of views that I think are so important. put it
Yeah.
with everything in the community, because only when you make leather your own, what it means to you, does it really have meaning.
That's exactly right. Now, I got another question. It's kind of a little off the cuff. Of course, I got to throw one of those in there.
We love those.
I know, right? So, are you into kink and or do you have a fetish? And what is it? Tell us. Tell all.
Well, since you asked, it's clearly gear. Gear is my kink. Gear
Yeah.
is the thing that I love. Leather, you see it right now. But basically, it's gone everything from when I was a child that started out as Speedos, it's gone all the range through sports gear and everything else. I would say probably I don't have a particular fetish so much as the kink and the fetish is the same. I love it all. I think it's all hot. I think it's all fun. I love the fantasy that's behind it, the way it makes you feel. That's really
Yes.
that's
The
my thing.
smell. I love it.
Yeah, it's fun and it's way
So,
hot. Yeah.
I have another question, and I'm gonna think about this here. So I got to think. If you could pick two people, two title holders, they
Right.
could be past or present,
Okay.
that you could play with
Uh-huh.
and have a toy of your choice,
Uh-huh.
who would those two people be? What would the toy be? And how would you make it work? What would you do with it?
Well, I think that's pretty easy actually. It would be Everett, which is
Oh,
Mr. Europe, previous Mr. Europe, and it would be Woody, which is previous IML.
oof, it's
Both
getting hot
are,
in here.
yeah, they're both pretty yummy. The other thing is the toy thing. I think of that more on more of a grand scale.
Mhm.
I would be the toy.
Oh, good answer. Good answer.
I
I
would
like
be
it.
the
I
toy.
like it.
And how would we use it? We'd let our imaginations go wild.
Yes. Yes, bitch. Yeah, darling. Oh, that's a good answer. Woo!
I would
Got
be
me
the toy.
thinking. So I've got one last question and then we got to wrap it up. But and I never asked this question, but because I've got this connection with you, if you could ask me any question, what would you ask me and go for it?
I would ask you, what is the one thing that you think nobody knows about you and you'd be willing to share with all of us?
Does it have to be sexual?
It can be anything you want.
Ah, shit. Oh, this is not fair because I I didn't get to know my question, but so I'll tell you what. I'll give you two things, okay? I'll give you one sexual and then one just novelty. Okay, so one novelty is I used to be a professional performance artist and dancer, and I toured with Lollapalooza and opened for Grace Jones. And
Really?
yes,
That's so
and
cool.
yes, and I've opened for Crystal Waters and Tori Amos and just different people like that. And but I really enjoyed the Lollapalooza tour. That was my last tour when I finally gave it up, and that was with a band called Ministry and Red Hot Chili Peppers, Jesus and Mary Chain, Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, the whole works. You know, it was in 1992,
I
and I
love it.
was also photographed in the back of Playboy with Steve Tyler from Aerosmith.
I love that.
Woo!
Yeah, definitely. Who doesn't love Steven Tyler? Seriously.
And then my for sexual, my fetishes. I like getting it on with drag queens.
Oh,
As every now and then, a little kink, just once in a while, or cross
yes.
dressers, you know.
I
And
think
then
that might get you a couple offers there.
right, and drag kings though too. So I like them both. And
I
if
love
I could
that.
get both in one, like a drag queen and a drag king,
Uh-huh.
oh, I'd be in heaven. But anyway, I'm into that. But anyway,
That's awesome.
so
I love that.
okay, I know.
Seriously, I love
I've
that.
never told anybody that really.
Now you have.
I have. It's out there. So anyway, this concludes the show. And thank you. Thank you. I mean, I really appreciate that you did this with me. And again, this is the first time I've tried doing it like this because normally I like in person. But I couldn't fly. I was going to come to New York, but I just,
I know we were going to have you
better I
last
didn't.
week, but you couldn't quite make it.
Yeah, well, with the whole situation,
I
But
understand.
anyway, bye everyone. We'll see you next week.
Thank you. Great meeting
Bye.
you. Bye.